Hello and welcome to the episode 13 of C++ Code Deep Dive. In this episode I will show you what makes variant object type safe union. If you find presented content useful, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. I will create two variant objects accepting integer and string types. Let's deep dive to see the construction. Class variant inherits directly from internal variant base class and some traits classes that enable default constructor, copy and move operation. Variant is a templated class that accepts many type names, but during construction only a single type is selected. This constructor calls our constructor that indicates position of the TP type in the templated types of this variant class. I will deep dive into its construction details later. Now let's see what happens on calling base constructor. Variant base calls yet another base class, which is alias to series of assigned base classes supporting move and copy operations. There's variant storage class at the top. It holds two major fields, U and index. U is of type variadic union and directly holds our data. We are constructing our object with integer, which is at index 0 of our variadic types. Therefore, in place index is templated with 0. Variadic union is the actual union that holds first and rest attributes. The following constructor initializes first only since index type is 0. First attribute is of type uninitialized. Uninitialized comes in two flavors. It contains storage, which is of type related to the template parameter, integer in our case. Additionally, index attribute is set to the index of type in a variant type name list. So after running this, U initializes first with 4 and index is set to 0. The rest attribute was not initialized, though when deep diving we see there is a string structure under the hood. You can watch about string in my other episode. Let's construct variant object with string type. This time, type name index is 1. 1 is passed in np template argument and storage mu is initialized. Variadic union is constructed and rest attribute is set with in-place index with template argument 0. For the integer, we set first argument with 0 indexed, so our constructor was called. Rest is also variadic union, therefore it declares another first and rest attribute. A string is not trivially destructible. There's another constructor. It picks address of storage and calls constructor for a given type. In this case, string constructor is called with character pointer. After all these calls, a rest attribute has first attribute set to string data. Index is set to 1, indicating string type. As we have just seen, accepted index controls how the constructor is invoked. Let's construct such index manually. Accepted index requires type name used in a variant and type name of the variant. For such construct, this construct returns 1 a string is at index 1 for the variant types. Let's deep dive to check why is that. Accepted index is a constant expression evaluated as value of fun type. When calling variant constructor, in-place index requires accepted index to be calculated. So, accepted index requires type to query about and variant under the question. It is calculated as a value attribute of fun type. Fun type is an alias on type returned by call to sFun method of buildFuns type, accepting value of, in this case, string. If I declare variable of fun type, we can see it's actually resolved to integral constant of value 1. For details on traits, you can see my previous episode. Let's check buildFuns. It has many declarations. Firstly, the third template parameter is calculated with makeInteger sequence. MakeInteger sequence builds an integer sequence expressed as a variable number of integers up to num value. So in the end, buildFuns is templated by queried type, variant parameterized with multiple types and index sequence of integer count, equal to number of variant template types. This structure inherits from multiple buildFuns structures, different in this and variant type each. It also declares usage of multiple of inherited sFun functions. Let's check this by declaring variable of buildFuns type. We can see that this variable inherits from two structures. The difference between them is in first index template parameter and the one but last type of parameterized variant. What is buildFun then? There are two declarations. First is a default one that explicitly deletes sFun function. But there's another condition. On the outside, it's just templated alias of void type. For the template parameter, it's a type of templated R type, templated by the type in the variant parameter list. R type is structure, declaring single field being one element array of parameterized type. If it's possible to initialize such structure with forward-like declaration, this structure is considered well-formed and sFun is present. Also, this sFun method returns integral constant representing index of variant type parameter that match the query. This index can be accessed with value attribute. Now we can declare variable of type returned by this sFun function. And you can see that return type is integral constant indeed. It's worth mentioning what happens if we try to invoke this function. On compiling, we get linker error. This is because only declaration of sFun exists, but the method is never invoked in the code and only its signature is needed. In this episode, I showed how variant class is constructed. Now you know. If you like this video, make sure to press like button and subscribe. I hope my content will help you creating something great. Thanks for watching.